And live streaming, off we go. Let's see here. All right. I feel like I want to have like music playing. Do, 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 do. Oh, wait, that might be a copyright infringement. Probably can't do that.
Watch it.
I know. Craziness. Okay, so here we go. Amalia and Madeline with you live. So excited that you're with us today. We are talking about the Cancer new moon coming up on July 5th at 6:57 p.m. Eastern at 14 degrees, 23 minutes. And we're doing this live a little bit earlier than usual because of the 4th of July holiday in the States next week. And we also wanted to give you enough time to potentially prepare. I was telling Madeline before we went live that this most recent, the solstice and the Capricorn full moon, which I was so excited about, brought a few challenges. It was a rather difficult time. I took a tumble, had a little bit of a spill, literally in the ocean on a rock, and got sideswiped on I-95. If any of you live in South Florida and you have any sense of the highway here, it's kind of crazy. You've got people that are older driving and you've got younger people driving. And so you have this dichotomy of fast and slow. And then the people in between are just kind of caught in the middle. But at any rate, it was a wild and wacky thing. I was with my daughter. We were coming back from a concert, really happy, go lucky. And all of a sudden, bam. So be careful out there. I think I did a little research on the astrological impacts, and I was sharing with Madeline, Jupiter in Gemini and Venus in Gemini can draw that energy out. I'm sorry, and Venus and Pisces can draw that energy out and create some accident prone energy. So be careful on the roads and walking or standing on rocks in the water because you never know what might happen. Okay, so a few things I wanted to mention. Pluto, Neptune, and Saturn will be in retrograde at the time of this new moon on the 5th, which also happens to be my grandmother's birthday. If she were still living, I think she would be 100, over 100, 110 possibly. Then we have some really interesting aspects to the moon. So let's think about Cancer for a moment. So Cancer is a water sign. Cancer has to do with the relationship with our mothers. The moon is the ruling planet. So, oftentimes these Cancer new moons you can feel deep emotions. Things are going to be brought up for you in your emotional world for you to do something about, for you to look at. So we have the sun is hanging out with the moon, as always, for a new moon. So we've got emotions in harmony with the ego, ideally. That doesn't mean that's always the case, but that's kind of what we're going for. It looks like Madeleine's signal was dropped. So I'll just keep talking. She'll be back in a sec. And then we also have the moon conjunct Venus. So Venus is a planet of pleasure and a planet of love and beauty. So Venus in the same sign as the moon, we're going to have a desire for pleasurable activities and the feeling of potential emotional connection with the people that we're around, and ideally with ourselves too. I mean, coming into a place of connection with ourselves is also really important right now, especially with the sun and the moon and Venus all together in the sign of Cancer. Now we have a sextile with Mars, so the moon and Mars are in a really favorable aspect with each other. So there's going to be energy to solve deeper emotional issues and take a constructive action. So let's just say maybe you have a heartbreak that is rising to the surface for you to look at. Okay, how are you navigating that? You might take constructive action to write a letter to the person that states how you felt, and maybe the joys from the relationship, but the pain from the relationship, and then hold on to that and maybe burn it at the upcoming full moon. Or imagine yourself in a meditation, sitting in front of that person, having a conversation about it, or maybe you just sharing with them how you feel, taking an action to resolve any emotional pain or hurt or disharmony that you might be feeling. Then we also have the moon trine Saturn. Okay, Saturn is a planet of stability and structure and foundation. So I love this energy of having a favorable aspect of a trine with the moon, because it's going to give us a place of any emotions that come up from this moon cycle. Saturn is almost like the father or the grandfather that you can lean on when you're sad. Like, just imagine you're upset about something and you just put your head on his shoulder and it feels really good. Very comfortable, solid, stable. Okay, so then we also have the one aspect that's a little bit maybe uncomfortable, and that is a square to the nodes. So anytime we have a square, there's a tension happening there. And so your emotional safety, the things that you need to feel safe, are going to possibly be at odds with the action that you need to take. So whatever it is that you need to take, whatever action you need to take may be rather uncomfortable for you to do. But it's needed. So it's almost like, even if it's uncomfortable, do it anyway, because there's a healing that can take place and it'll move you forward. You know, anything with the nodes is healing and then moving forward. Okay, some final thoughts too about this new moon, and hopefully Madeleine will be back here momentarily. If not, I may have to pause and find out where she is. But the other aspect I want to mention is the connection to the body. Now, every sign has a body connection, and with Cancer, you know, Cancer to me, I think of it because it's connected to mother and it's a very maternal type of energy. I always think, okay, that's pretty easy. It's connected to the female organ. So the breasts, the vagina, the ovaries, the womb space, all of the what we consider a female anatomy would be ruled by Cancer. Also ruled by Cancer is the stomach, mucosa, the lymph. And the lymph is so important, especially when we're processing emotional energy, because the lymph is literally pushing things out. And here she comes, and we're able to process it a little bit better. So some simple things you can do to get your lymph going. There's a yoga practice that's very, very easy. Basically, legs up a wall. And that literally, because we're so used to sitting or standing on our legs, most everything just goes down to the lower part of our body, and we're looking to have more of a like an infinity loop sort of energy where things are flowing up and down, moving, processing, moving through. So that would be a great practice you could do. And it's also connected to the peritoneum and the pleura, which is these membranes that the peritoneum is a membrane that comes across your abdominal wall area, kind of like your torso area. And then the pleura is a membrane that is in the thoracic cavity around your lungs. So, you know, our lungs can hold grief, that's emotional. Our abdomens can hold all sorts of pain. It's a place of power. So these areas are really, activated. They could be more sensitive. So just keeping that in mind as well, you know, is the stomach, what we're eating, what you're putting into your body. The word that I keep hearing is gentleness, you know, just being gentle with yourself and the emotions and things that may come up. So Madeleine, I'm glad you're back.
I don't know what happened. It just all of a sudden just went kaboom. So, and I was on my hotspot, which works better, but it wouldn't log on my hotspot. It went round and round and round. So I'm on now the Wi-Fi, which is not mine. So hopefully we are okay. Well,
Okay.
we'll just keep
going. We're gonna, maybe we'll just do this one quickly, just so that we know
sure.
the signal. So basically, I just went through some of the aspects to the moon and just talked a little bit about the body parts that are connected to it. And then if you wanted to share the chart, Madeline, kind of share your take on the basics, and then we can jump into the 12 signs.
Host disabled participant screen sharing.
Oh, that must be when you popped off. Hang on one sec. There you go.
All righty, let me just get this thing up here. Yeah, I don't know what you said, so apologies if we double up. Also, I've been getting a lot of people saying they would watch this all if we timestamped, and I don't know how to timestamp. So if anybody knows how to, yeah.
I do know, but the problem is that it is labor intensive unless there's a shortcut. So if anyone knows a shortcut to that, that would be great. Uh-oh. I think Madeline's.
Okay, good. I'm here. Are you there?
Okay, good.
Good.
Yes.
I went back to my hotspot, so hopefully we're good. All right.
Okay, awesome.
So here we are on not the full moon, but I will get it. A new moon we have here in the sign of Cancer. And it's going to be at 14 degrees 20, like you said, something 20 something, 14 degrees. There we go. We get the moon.
Yep.
Oops, went too far. So there is the moon. We'll get it quickly, guys. Here, we'll pop it up correct. There is the moon at 14 degrees, hitting the sun right there at 14 degrees, which is on the star of Sirius. And that is a very abundant star. It's where actually, in my opinion, the forefathers knew that this was a great day to initiate the Declaration of Independence, because it was going to put the sun right on the star of Sirius, which is of the nature of Jupiter and Mars, which is very auspicious. Hence, we have an abundant, auspicious country, more so at other times. But anyway, but that is its destiny. And then at the same time as this full moon, so the ruler of the full moon is the moon, so the moon together. So this is going to be a powerful new moon because it is cardinal and it is involving the nodes. This new moon is squaring the north node and the south node, which indicates this is ecliptical type of a new moon, because these cardinal lunations, while the nodes are in a cardinal sign, all the lunations will be in the storyline of the eclipse. And when we have another eclipse coming in September, I think in the sign of Libra, but it might be October. But anyway, so Jupiter is hitting another really auspicious place here. As you can see, it is sextiling and trining. It is trining the south node, sextiling the north node. And that is, again, a very ecliptical type of an energy, because even though Jupiter doesn't rule anything around any of this, Jupiter is in the sign of Mercury, and during the eclipse, the Mercury was combust on the eclipse. So basically, we are further creating more of the transformations involved around the eclipses, where this full moon, new moon is a cardinal. So we're having seasonal type shifts in our lives around the cardinal houses. And but Jupiter is on the sign of Aldebaran, which is extremely abundant, and that is the energy of Mars, Jupiter too. So we have a lot of really positive things happening on this eclipse, this lunation, which we need, and we're going to take these away here, which will be important. And now the only challenging would be Venus squaring the nodes. And like you said, we do have Saturn retrograde at this time. It's in the sign of Pisces, which is ruled by Jupiter. So that's great. So we have Jupiter that rules Saturn right now in a very auspicious sign, trining the nodes and the south node. So this is the promises that we've been waiting for with some of these eclipses, the abundance that these eclipses are bringing in. There is you probably talked about this, Cancer being home energy, being what is feel secure, what feels like an intuitive knowing, sensitivity. So we're really looking at intuitive energy as far as like these are choices, new beginnings we make that are very much about feeling at home. And we're going to go through all the 12 signs. Like, for instance, if you have Libra rising, Cancer's over your 10th, so you're going to want, you make your work environment, your family, the people that make you feel at home. And so whenever we get these Cancer new moons, these are cardinal type new beginnings, in the sense that it creates seasonal shift, which means these are shifts you can look back at and say, wow, that's when that started. That completely changed my life. My life went in a whole new direction. This is a devotional energy. Mother's Cancer is a devotional energy. So it's starting something new that we feel emotionally connected to, that we can be devoted to, that feels a devotion. It's a mother in us. It's the mother that wants to nurture a new something, which we'll go through in all the 12 signs. So we're really giving birth here in this new moon to something that is emotionally important, intuitively, from the center, from the heart. And it's makes us feel at home in this area. Many Cancer rising, for instance, we'll talk about, probably literally do find a home, a new family. Now with Saturn, it's actually kind of causing a little bit of a kite. We've got this Saturn 19 degrees, Mars 19 degrees, Venus at 22 degrees. So right before that, Venus is in on this sort of trining Saturn. Well, it's actually trining Saturn right now, and then trining Mars. So these are, and then Mars is, we're going to have a buildup here with Mars in Uranus, which is going to be really a shaky situation, which hopefully we all get through very well. It's a nerve-wracking transit, I won't lie. But see, now Venus rules that transit, and Venus will be opposing Pluto at that time. But Venus right now on the new moon is making, well, it's off the trine, but it will have made a trine to Saturn. So that is like, and Venus is squaring the nose right now today. So not to be so confusing, but basically what's happening is we are being retilted, redirected towards more auspicious, more new beginnings that are Jupiter, Mars. Jupiter is the calling, the expansion of all that is good, is humanitarianism. It's, and then we have Mars, which is like motivation, drive, and kind of pumping us up to get motivated to initiate new beginnings that change our life, because we're going to have Aries. Aries is part of this. If you're Aries, you're going to have a square from this new moon. If you're Libra, you're going to have a square from this new moon, which is why the cardinals always feel shifts, no matter whether you're a winter cardinal or a summer cardinal or whatever. You're always good because you're going to be squared whatever transit. And the nodes are squaring your signs right now, which is taking new path, redirecting a path, right? So this new moon is squaring the nodes in Aries, which is involving in the eclipse, because our Aries houses is where the eclipse has happened in April 8th. So we're finding we're continuing this journey, and it's a lot of these new beginnings that are happening, because we have so many new beginnings with these eclipses and the new moons, because we're really ending sort of 30-year cycles with that last one. We're ending 30-year sort of shall we say, karmic patterns. We're ending. So now we're rebirthing this. So every new moon from the eclipse is a new part of the story. So this is the new part of the story that involves family, home, living, what feels home and family to you in whatever house of the chart we're going to look at. So
I love that, just that explanation, Madeleine, about the every new moon post eclipse is adding a little bit more to the story. I haven't heard anyone say that in that way before, but that might give people a little bit of a storyline take on the energy versus it feeling so big and amorphous. So this, like you said, this is based on home and family, mother, ancestry too, as well, because Cancer is the fourth house. So you know, I feel like a lot of people might be experiencing some ancestral, what do I want to say about this? Some ancestral clarity, maybe based through health issues or based through things that are happening in their life that seem to be a theme throughout their lineage. And what different choice can you perhaps make to end that cycle, to create a new shift in this part of the story? So that's really cool.
Yeah. Now, because remember that eclipse was at 19 degrees. Venus is going to be squaring Chiron, which was right on the eclipse. So there's a conversation here with the eclipse.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so there's healing because of the Venus Cancer, healing, some deep wounding, mother issues, family earlier, what do we call it? Ancestral wounding coming in here, being seen, being hurt. You might get triggered. Cancer is super sensitive. So, you know, and wherever Cancer falls in your chart is where you have a lot of sensitivity. So this is going to trigger, Chiron squares will trigger an emotional sensitivity, but everything around this lunation looks super positive, really nice. So,
Yep.
you know, I guess I'm going to say with that Chiron square Venus, with being in your first house of Cancer, it's going to be releasing attachments, because, you know, that would be the thing that's holding us back to the past, because we're really moving into a whole new future, a whole new destiny, a whole new, because we have a double, we have a double Capricorn full moon where we're becoming aware of a karmic pattern, double, making sure. The universe, Saturn is in there going, make sure you learn this lesson, you know. So it's like some double Capricorn full moon where we're really releasing, and it's right at it's what the first full moon in Capricorn was at 1 degrees, and the last full moon is at 29 degrees. So it's everything sandwiched in between is going to make sure like we're catching this whole Capricorn chart part where we're really everybody, and it's never great. That full moon in Cancer is never great clearing karma. It never feels great, but it's you get liberated. There's a liberation on the other side of this. And then you step up with a new, well, that's the way the universe works, is death and rebirth over and over and over and over. And so we're ending our karmic patterns. This is a spiritual, because Cancer is always going to be spiritual. It's not material. It's going to be emotional, spiritual, intuitive. So it's like, these are new beginnings that feed our soul, and we've cleared a karma. So it's like we've cleared, and with that Chiron in the story this whole time, what has caused us, as we know, this is a theme we talk about, that has caused us to make karmic choices, has been wounding and fear and insecurities, and not trusting that the divine is going to provide something that we think is our salvation, when divine has got it covered, the universe has got you covered, but we can't, our mind can't see it. So we go into karmic choices and into fear-based type of patterning. And so this Chiron Venus is going to be like, oh, well, you know, learn that lesson there about attachment. So what else can I say? So yeah, with the South Node and Jupiter, there's going to be some kind of manifestation or development or opportunity, and we'll go into it in more detail when we go through all the 12 houses, that enables you to release the South. Like for instance, there might be a financial boost involved in these two lunations, because they're so positive, that enables you to release something in your whatever house your Libra house is. So like, let's say your Libra house is the 10th house, and something comes in, a major opportunity comes in, which enables you to quit your job, or to quit the job that you're on and you have another job that's more beneficial. So it's kind of like this Jupiter is if there's any stuckness in the energy field of your life that feels like you're not able to go past, Jupiter will come in and bless it and solve the problem and fix it, because Jupiter is in a really, really, really positive position.
I love that.
So,
Jupiter, just come in and fix it. Fix
yes.
it, bless it.
Now, it could be something, this new moon could be something from the past beginning again, because we have Saturn retrograde. And when Saturn's in retrograde, it's really powerful. It has more impact. You feel it more, and it's a little more nose to the grindstone, taskmaster. You're going to have to redo this, get it done. like me, my internet, all my Instagram feed went kaboomba, and my Facebook platforms all got completely shut down for reasons I have yet to discover or understand. But Saturn retrograde for me will be a renew approach on it, a new beginning, but it's back to something that I'm already doing. But Saturn retrograde is going to have us, if you have Saturn retrograde in your chart, you're going to feel it even more. But Saturn retrograde is this sort of, you know, something has to be taken care of in your life that you haven't been taken care of, and you have to go back and do it, and you have to go back and do it right and do it better, or learn more about something. You know, but you see now Saturn is sextiling Mars on this, which means we have a lot of support now. So Saturn is not going to be trining Mars the whole time that it's in retrograde. But when you have these new moons, these are the points that get frozen in time. Like this is the month, the whole month. It indicates the energy of the whole month, because you can do a moon return and just know how your month's going to go just by looking at that day, that second. So for the entire month of July into August, we're going to be very supported by Mars in Taurus, which is financially abundant, but it's also slow energy. It is a kind of a hardworking energy. So, but it's supporting us. So the solutions that come in from the karmic crisis, which is what it feels like when when you meet your karmic end of the rope or whatever. So I have a feeling that I started my Instagram feeds, because I started my Instagram and my Facebook at a time that I didn't understand astrology and how to initiate looking at astrology. And so it's like, I may have initiated a time that my astrology wasn't great to initiate something. And so now I can now selectively choose the new time to do it. And I can line it up with much more auspicious planets. So maybe because I am supposed to raise up to a higher vibration or a higher success rate on my internet, whatever. So it's like, I know the universe wants me to redo it and start at a time that's astrologically more supportive. So this would be a very powerful astrological time to initiate something on this new moon on July 5th. Like I say, the forefathers knew about this day being a very auspicious day to begin something, which is why our country began on that day. So this would be an awesome time for anybody to initiate something. Now, again, when it's in Cancer, it's something that's intuitively in your devotional energy field. It's what you want to mother. You're going to nurture it. It's emotional. It's not just about money. It's about, or not that my Instagram feed was ever about money, because I don't know that you really make that much money on Instagram or anything, but you're going to be coming at it we're all going to be initiating new beginnings that come at it from a place of it's nourishing for us, or we're nourishing people, or there's a nourishment. Cancer is just all about making lots of new things. That's why Jupiter's exalted in Cancer. Cancer, the crab, makes lots of babies. They make tons of little baby crabs, And so Jupiter is like, loves to be in Cancer because it loves to expand things. So Cancer energetically is a very expansive sort of making lots of things. So anyway, we're lining up to new beginnings where we can create a new birth to something that is emotionally, intuitively fulfilling and nourishing. And again, this is going to be as a result of the Capricorn full moons, where we've cleared some sort of karma, so we're making a new beginning. All
right, well,
yeah,
shall we dive in? I want to share the flower card for this particular new moon. We have strawberry blossom, and this activates optimism, and the message is expect the best. So this is a time, like you were saying, Madeleine, for us to embrace possibilities. And there are lots of them that will likely be emerging during this period of time. And our emotional world, our intuitive world, will be a huge guide in that process.
Yes. These are auspicious new beginnings that will really last a long time, because this is in between the two full moons, which is Capricorn, which is Saturn, and Saturn sextiling Mars which means we're really supported universally and by Saturn, who usually stops us if we're not in the right alignment. And so these are going to be very universally supported new beginnings that most likely begin as a result of having cleared karma.
Nice. Okay.
So let's do it.
Aries, what's going on with them?
So you guys have this in your fourth house. Let me just get to Aries here. Aries is going to be, it's going to be in your fourth house. So that is like literally like really easy, you know, to say. You're literally a new family, a new home. But again, this is something that really is fulfilling. Now, you know, you would have had many new moons in Cancer all throughout your life or years, but, you know, this is a new moon, a new beginning as a result of having cleared some major karma. And so these are auspicious new beginnings in your fourth house, new living situations, now let's say a lot of Aries you could be in construction. So say you have Saturn there, place you could build a new home. A new moon in you could get pregnant, have a child, your family could increase size of family, a new family, you could get married and then cohabitate with someone, live with them. Now, this new moon does include like work and creativity and the arts, because Cancer is the arts. It's like there could be some sort of new project that you want to make, intuitively create more of a nesting experience at your home. You get very nesty with these energies where you want to make it really nice because Venus is there. So you're going to want to make it really pretty. And it's now you could get with that squared Venus there, it with the with squaring Chiron, it could be like you have an emotional early life trauma with mother or difficulty that then becomes healed. You see it, and it may make you want to move. That could be a part of it too. So I think that's it, you know, being really simple about it. Yeah, new family, new home, new living situation. You cleared your karmic patterning because you would have had karma around home and family. And now we've got this new, you could get married, brand new start. We already said that. I think I'm there. Yeah.
Okay. So we have the bird's foot lotus for Aries, and this activates contentment. What I love about this based onto the fourth house is that when we're home is where we wish to feel content, to feel a place of no worries, no concerns. We're just home. So this to me is a reminder of that. The message is also take charge. So for Aries, there might be something they actually have to utilize their Aries initiatory energy for, but then to feel at ease in that process of doing it. So the bird's foot lotus to me feels really aligned with the energy of the fourth house and Aries for this Cancer new moon.
I don't know why, but that energy of that card looks very clear of karma.
It does. It feels pure, you know, it's not white, but it still feels light and bright. And yeah, that's a great observation.
That's a little thing that hits me there.
Yeah, you're always so fun with those observations. Yeah. All right, Taurus.
So Taurus, you guys, you know, you're going to have this Mars and Uranus thing in your first house. So, you know, that's going to change your life really radically. So prepare ye Taurans for a shift in your lives. You're shifting your identity. You know, could be very positive. Well, I mean, you know, this algol transit Mars and Uranus is shaky energy, but ultimately liberates us. So liberation on some level where you become more of who you are, but also with this new moon in Cancer hits your third house. Is that right? The third house for Taurus? Gosh, okay. Yes. So a new moon in your third house is like, the third house is sort of like people around you on a day-to-day. It could be siblings, could be neighbors, could be business associates, it could be a work. It's also running your business. You could start a new business, start a new website, a new internet website, social media type of a platform. new beginnings there, starting something. But again, this is connecting you emotionally with something. And also you could have a new relationship from other parts in your chart, and now you're having like a new family around you that are your neighbors or friends or siblings. You have new siblings, new family members around you. Then also maybe a whole new way of communicating, because if you have Cancer over your 4th house, you're going to want to speak from the heart or speak from a very authentic place. And so you're going to want to, it's a sort of a new beginnings. That's why something else in your chart must be going on, where you move or something shifts, because you have new sets of neighbors around you, new sets of people around you, new job, new work, new business that is intuitively aligned with your with like your true kind of, like, I would say your I mean, the best way to look at Cancer would be, because Cancer is covered with a shell and there's this inside thing. So it's like we're going on the inside here. And so these are more in aligned choices. But remember, we've cleared karma, so we couldn't see these until we got rid of some of our debris in our psyche body. And so now you see clearly what you intuitively, or what feeds you, what feeds your soul, what feeds your emotional self. So it's possibly a creative new beginning as well. Let me get back to that. So now it could be, again, because it's a Cancer energy, literally a new home, a new family, or you suddenly get like, you have new neighbors could move in your area, and then they become family. They're very family oriented type people. They feel like family to you. Go ahead.
Okay. So we have the pink primrose for Taurus. And this also connects so beautifully to what you were saying, Madeline, about creativity, because this allows for rapid growth in creative projects, internally, career-wise. Like, it could be in a number of different areas of life. And there's a theme from the card for Aries as well about ease. This also is a message of make it effortless. And there's an easeful ideas that come through, easeful action that can take place in order to move the ball forward in your intentions, whatever that is for you. So I really love this pink primrose for Taurus.
I love you added that ease, because that is, with the Saturn sextiling Mars, is that ease energy. So that's great.
Yeah, seems to be a theme so far.
Yeah.
Okay, Gemini.
Yeah, things that are happening easily and open up, like that's a sign that's the way to go. If there's an easy open way, then that's where we're supposed to go. It's like the signal, that way.
That's very true. And one thing I've noticed, though, that tripped me up a little bit, and I just feel it's important to mention it now, is that this easeful way may open up for you, and it seems like this is it and this is the best thing, and oh my goodness, but it may not work out the way you think. So don't think just because it turns out differently that it was the wrong thing to do. It's always like that feeling of flow almost always is the exact path for you to take. There's a lesson, or there's an experience, or there's something from that that's really guiding you in that direction.
Yeah.
Okay, Gemini.
Okay, so Gemini, they have Cancer over their 2nd house. So again, wherever you have Cancer is where you seek and crave security. And so Gemini are going to seek and crave financial security. They like stability. They want to feel like their money and their possessions and their financial possessions are safe and everything's secure and safe. So this is there's an emotional, wherever you have Cancer in your chart, you have an emotional attachment or an emotional need. It's a needy energy. And so over the 2nd house, there will be some sort of auspicious new financial beginning. You're going to have Jupiter in your 1st house, which is all about making new initiatings and starting new I should say auspicious, but also humanitarian efforts, spiritual. So you have this brand new beginning, this new way of making money, a new way that is emotionally rewarding or emotionally soothing, that makes you feel like you're going to be financially stable for a while. And this is a very financially abundant new moon. So it's like we're gonna feel very stable here for a while with these new financial. It's almost like this new moon, these are new beginnings that make us feel like, okay, these are the kind of new beginnings where you feel stable for a while for Gemini. And then if I look at their they've had this eclipse in their 11th house. And so it's kind of like, and then they've got this Mars, Uranus conjoining in their 12th house, where that is going to be a total ending of a karmic. A lot of times karmic endings can involve people passing away, because my mother passed. I cleared up my karma with my mother and she passed. But usually it was on a full moon. So full moons, and this is a new moon, but full moons can often bring the passing away of a karmic relationship where you've cleared that karma with that person, so they're now allowed to pass on. And that happens too. That can happen, especially if it's in your 12th house. There could be a retrieval of something lost because it's positively aspecting your 12th house. What else can we say about that? Saturn is in your 10th house. So well, that makes sense. So there's something from the past coming in that you made money at that was very stable and secure, or a connection from the past, or people you knew from the past coming back in, enabling you to initiate a new project or a new career that influences a new beginning in your finances, a new job, a new way to make money. Or you get inheritance, because the second house can often mean you increase possessions that make you very, very, very stable financially for a while.
Okay. So we have Jade Succulent popping in here for Gemini. And the Jade Succulent reminds us to be present. Maybe in the sense of being present with what's happening around us, maybe in holding ourselves with presence. And the message is go for it. So the way I'm interpreting this flower for this Cancer new moon is that for them, in order for them to reap the benefit of this transit in their second house, it's going to require them to be present, to be clear on what it is that they want. And then when they are clear, when they are fully present in the moment, then they'll know when to go for it. Then they'll know when to take that step towards whatever it is that could potentially build a financial future for themselves that they are desiring. So the jade, and even with the flowers, you can see there's like all of these little potential opportunities out there. Like, just know which one to align with for yourself.
I will say one thing about this new moon is it is in the water energy of Cancer, which means it's coming towards us. It's yin. Things are coming towards us. So we're clearing that karma, because what that karma does is it creates a blocking, because it's lower dimensional, lower frequency. So after these full moons that are clearing our lower dimensional issues or whatever, come in rapid attractors. And so it's like they're rapidly attracting opportunities, financial abundance. Fantastic.
Yeah, I love that. I'm glad you brought up the yin energy, because of that feminine drawing, being receptive to allowing that to come to us. We don't have to, I mean, we still have to make effort, still going to require some action, but we don't have to be efforting so much. Just like the other
energy of responding to what is coming to us in these energies.
Right.
We may have efforted for them in the past, in that Capricorn, well, when we were in Yang energy.
Exactly. Okay, now we're going to talk about Cancer in their first house. Oh my goodness.
Yep, you guys have a lot of planets in your first house, so a lot of new identity, new devotional, because Cancer is always devotional, and it's a new beginning in, now again, Cancer have the South Node in their 4th house. There could be a new family, a new home, a relationship comes in. I read quite a few Cancers right now. They're having contact from people from their past, the twin flame type thing happening for Cancers. So a lot going on there with your 1st and your 7th houses, because you got the full moon in Capricorn in your 7th house. So it's like there's this new birth of yourself, who you are, and it's auspicious. So there's Cancers are coming into a really abundant new beginnings in things that they're devoted to. And you know, if you were if you cancer, you could get pregnant, Cancer rising, you have a baby, you suddenly become a mother, you're a new mother. But then that can be a metaphor for something where you're mothering, you're nurturing this new beginning, you're giving it water, you're nurturing some sort of new emotionally fulfilling, because Cancer is all about emotionally fulfilling, that creates security, that feels long-term, safe, nest, home. And then clearing the karma around the 7th house of relationships. Well, you're entering into potentially relationships that are more divinely aligned, that are now starting a new 30-year chapter in the relationship department. And that Venus is in your 1st house. So Cancers are looking beautiful, and shall we say, they are that's a nice auspicious money to have Venus in your 1st house. There's success there, there's blessings there, and good times. This is a nice full moon in new moon, and for Cancer, I think they will experience it in a way the strongest, because they're going to have Venus in their 1st house, and Jupiter is in your 12th. So it's like Jupiter in your 12th is kind of like the rewards of karma cleared, the rewards of the spiritual upgrade that you're experiencing. And so now Jupiter's there rewarding you for the spiritual clearing, because our karma drops our frequency. So when we're clearing these things, we now start to get rewards. That's what Saturn does. It rewards us. So there's rewards in this new moon here for Cancer, and for everybody really, but specifically for Cancer, because the Saturn is trining Venus in your 1st house. So that's awesome. That's really abundant for the long haul.
Yay. Yay for you, Madeline, because I know you're a Cancer
Then
rising.
don't forget, they're in your 10th and your 4th. So you still got these eclipses, because your 10th house career nodes, your 4th. So there's that career and living and home situation upheaval for these next year. Go ahead.
Oi, yeah, that's not so fun.
Oh no, it's not bad. It's just that you eclipses in your 10th house. So there's definitely a shift in your careers for Cancer. Either they shift what they're doing, or they shift the job completely, and they change a complete job. I do know a Cancer rising who's completely shifting from real estate to being an astrologer. So we're shifting. Yes, and we know another one who shifted from real estate. She's still working in real estate, but now she's doing exam bowls. She's been to school and studying. So Cancer risings are shifting into their spiritual vocations.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Okay, so we have the Hong Kong orchid for Cancer, and I think this is such a beautifully feminine flower, but yet there's a soft strength to it. Like I really just think this is so gorgeous. This activates self-acceptance. The message is express yourself, and this is about fully, authentically, and truly expressing who you are. And I feel like that's such an awesome message for Cancer, with this being in their 1st house. You know, loving yourself, accepting yourself, feeling comfortable with yourself. And the Hong Kong orchid is a great guiding post for that, you know, and I mean, this flower even just kind of, I don't know, the way it's even being held, it's like this easeful, to use that word again, confidence.
Yes.
Yeah, easeful confidence.
You know, it's interesting when I see that, it really resonates with the message of self-alignment, and because Cancers have an attachment usually to the relationship, having Capricorn over their 7th. So Cancers have found they become whole, unfragmented in their relationship accessing, where they've found wholeness. So that makes sense.
Yeah, cool. Leo?
All right.
What's on with them?
Leo,
Lions and
yes. So the 12th house for Leo would indicate that there's complex, deep emotional issues, trauma-based stuff. So there's sort of a healing. So Leo has healed something deep, and this is a new moon as a result of having healed something. And so an emotional disturbance or emotional upset from your mother. I have a Leo son who's probably emotionally, I know, you know, he's Cancer rising, but usually cancers have problems with their mother. Almost all cancers do, because they're already intuitive mothers. It's like teachers have problems with teachers. They can't be taught because they're already a teacher and they don't teach them the way they think they need to be taught. So anyway, so yeah, so Cancer in the 12th house, you are very sensitive to have Cancer in your 12th house. Leos are sensitive. So it's almost like they're very sensitive to their environment, their surroundings, their home living situations. So this is like something they could move to the country, because the 12th house is the country. It's a new beginning, and it's also travel, but it's also a new beginning as a result of having found emotional stability around something, or having healed a trauma. So there's this new chapter forming where there's, and it can really be anywhere. It's almost like the 12th house is a shotgun thing, because any way that you're playing out some sort of trauma in your life is now healed, and then empowers you to make new auspicious beginnings. And you're no longer sort of being held back by some sort of emotional issue, because cancers are emotional issues. So yeah, so you're very impacted by so Leos are going to probably keep a lot of emotional things to themselves too. And they have probably a hard time moving on from the past. So this is like potentially, it will, because we've got that Venus squaring Chiron. So there could be a triggering involved that makes you step up a healing process so that you aren't so sensitive. You know,
I'm laughing because it's like we're still a week out from this new moon, and I'm already experiencing a lot of what you're describing. And the night blooming Sirius also has a very similar message to what you're saying. It's a flower that is basically saying, okay, you have an opportunity for a huge leap in your personal growth. You have an opportunity to understand the shadow side of yourself. You also have an opportunity to be fearless and to take a leap that is going to lead you into the future. And it reminds us to dissolve limitations. So the limitations you think you have don't necessarily really exist. It's see what happens, take that leap, take that action. And I feel like too, because of the Cancer energy, it's going to come from a really deep emotional well of experience, and that is going to be the fuel that pushes them to take that leap. So did you have something else? I don't know if I cut you off.
Well,
now.
that's interesting, because that showed the inside in the same color as the outside. So it's almost like, I lost the darn thought, but it's almost like emotionally feeling strong enough to come out and be vulnerable. That's what it was. There's a vulnerability about the 12th house. So it's almost like that center is like vulnerable.
Yeah, I mean, because it's challenging, it's challenging to be vulnerable. I mean, Leos are, I feel like they're more grand, bold, here we are, but at the same time, there's stuff that's also held back a little bit. Not always, but sometimes. It depends on the Leo.
Well,
there are other planets.
You're going to want a safe, nurturing environment to allow yourself to feel vulnerable.
Yeah. Right.
I'm sensitive to that, being Cancer over the 12th. All right.
Okay.
Along here.
Virgo.
We've got, oh yeah, Virgo. Oh wait, Virgo? Wait, yes.
Yeah.
Virgo. Let me get the right way here, Virgo. Okay, so Virgo is going to have all of this happening in their 11th house, right? So that means Virgo have a real emotional supportive tribe group. They want to be emotionally connected to their friends and peer groups. They're a bit needy of their peers and friend groups. When I say needy, that's just the element of Cancer. So I don't mean that in a negative way, but they like it, they nurture it, it's important for them. And so so you might meet a new soul tribe, like your soul tribe, your true people. Now, we're always getting these new moons in the 11th house for Virgo every year around this time, but this one is hitting these really auspicious planets. So, and the 11th house is one of the best houses. It's a very lucky house of wins and gains, and so some sort of could be a new client comes in, new friends group that are at home, you feel at home with, it's family. And then maybe it's very abundant new clients, because the 11th house can be new associates, networking groups. Your social media platform could do very well. Seeing 111 for Virgo, yay. And so it's like this is auspicious new beginnings involving, now again, this is people coming to you, you meet somebody new. By the way, if anyone sees my crown, it's so that I don't get it so impacted by the Wi-Fi energy, anyway, EMF. But anyway, so yeah, so for Virgo, you're going to be meeting new groups of people. Now again, they could be from the past that are coming back in with that Saturn in retrograde that you have work involved with, or some sort of a career, a boosting experience, because you know most people have this new moon hitting at 3 parts in their chart, so it could also be involving career, new career. I know Virgo who's Gemini rising, who's Gemini sun, so it's hitting in their 10th, they've got Jupiter in their 10th house, so it's like a really auspicious career new beginnings for them, but involving around somebody that they meet from the 11th house that feels like family, that they feel very, and something that they feel devoted to, or a group of people they feel devoted to. But again, with these blessings of the Sirius star, and the sextile from Jupiter, from Saturn to Mars, which this rules Saturn, and Jupiter trining the nodes, we these new people that we meet are tilting our destinies, part of the eclipse, part of the changing that our life is taking as a result of these eclipses. So it's like these new people you meet now are going to be super auspicious and most likely last a 30-year new cycle. And remember, it's as a result of having cleared some kind of karma. And what would that be over the 11th house? Attachment to relationships, or to 11th house peer groups that are not necessary in alignment with your devotional, what you want to devote with, or what feels at home with. So you're releasing attachments and neediness to other relationships, groups that don't feed your new direction. So there, yeah.
You know what strikes me about what you're saying here too is that the banana blossom for Virgo reminds them to slow down, to rest and feel nurtured. When I think of nurturing, I think of Cancer. And to do this, they can then bring projects to fruition, which they may need a tribe to share this with, or a tribe to finish it. It also dissolves fears of not being able to do something. You know, it's kind of like that FOMO energy, you know, that you sometimes have with your friends. It's like they know that whatever is meant for them to be doing, they'll be doing it. And there is no time limit. There's no constraint. You know, sometimes it's like taking care of yourself is what needs to be done in that moment, so that you can show up for your friends, or you can show up to support a project, or whatever it might be. So the banana blossom to me feels very much like that type of energy. And, you know, we have this one part, this one going, I'm going it backwards, this one going out, and this one kind of coming in a little bit. So it's like a little bit of that balance between the two. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, Madeline?
Yeah, I think that it's almost like pulling away from one group and pulling into another group, or you know what I mean? Like it feels like it's moving, and that's moving towards the center. So it's like leaving, you're letting go of unaligned groups, coming into more groups that are aligned with your center. And it's possible that wherever we have Cancer, we become a mother of, you know, we mother people a little bit in these energies. So it's like new beginnings where we're not feeling the urge to mother certain situations, so we stay in them because we feel needed as a mother. And it's like, and that's it. So you might be in friendships that aren't necessarily in alignment with you, but you just feel like you need to mother these people. So there's some of that letting go going on. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, Libra.
So Libras usually, because they have Cancer over their 10th house, so they usually have, you know, your MC, let's say, is in Cancer. So it's like you're supposed to, things come to you. It's a water energy over your 10th house. So your career, really, opportunities come at you. and you usually have family or make family with career people. They're usually your family, or you feel family comfortable with them, or you usually get involved in careers that are family members work with you. I mean, it's all basically family work. And also maybe you like to work at home, or you build homes as your work. You make homes. And also you are very nurtured by your work. It nourishes you, your soul, if you're in alignment with your inner emotionally fulfilling work, which Libra are going to be here to learn to do. Having Cancer over your 10th, you might be a little over mothery, over attached to some of your family relationships around work. So you might get, Cancers are sensitive and they have emotional issues around. Not if you've done a lot of work, you can get over it, but perhaps there's emotional drama stuff in relationships at work, which will be cleared out because of the Capricorn issue, deleting attachment stuff. So so it's really a new beginning now in a work career related matter. And we remember we've got that Saturn sextiling Mars. So it's like really a really supportive career move for Libra, where they align with a more soul nourishing career. And you know, with wherever you have Cancer in your chart, you're looking for home here. You're looking for stability and safety. That's where you want it. Like if you're Cancer rising, it's all over your life. But if you're, you know, Cancer in whatever house it in, that's where you find some sort of security, some sort of home, some sort of nesting and warmth and safety. So they want safety and security and stuff in their careers, and they like it through people that feel like family. They usually make the people they work around them family. So new career beginnings that are not as fear-based. So then you bond and attach to people in your workforce that maybe aren't necessarily the right career and can be a little chaotic there. So now we're aligning with a new career where we're bonding with people that really will last, because these are intuitively, emotionally connected career that's fulfilling. All of that.
This flower, I don't know if we've had this one before. If we have, it's been a while. The Brugmansia. Okay. With this, this activates ease. There's that word again, ease. Message is let go and let loose. There are a ton of keynotes that relate to work, career, overworking, workaholics. You know, this is a reminder that there's a balance, a Libra balance needs to be brought into the fore. Asking for help. You know, you don't have to be out there doing it all on your own. Have people help you, create a community, have support. It's a time for assimilation and growth. There will be change that takes place during this. And you can have, like you were talking about with the that Cancer energy of like creating a home with the people you work with. Like maybe it's talking to your coworkers and saying, hey, I'm kind of the Lone Ranger here on this project. I really need some support. Can you guys step in and help out? And they probably are more than happy to do it. So I love the fact that, you know, one of the themes is ease, 10th house career, and this flower has so much to do with finding balance, Libra, in that part of our lives. And this too, it's like the way this flower presents on the back of this green, it's like a whole new way of being, and there's all these different directions. It always reminds me of like the cardinal directions in the flower.
Yes.
Where it's pointing, the opportunities that are there, and the pure there. This to me is also kind of a purity kind of vibe, heart, as well.
Almost saying now you're aligning with the work people that are your family. Now it's shifting to the right. You know, and the Cancer house in our charts is a journey. You know, we're really finding that, looking for that.
So fascinating. Okay.
Yeah, because don't forget the nodes are squaring these houses. So these are big changes. It's 18-year cycles. You know, these are big changes. So, okay. So
Scorpio.
now Scorpio. All right. Scorpio has this hitting in there. Come on. So they've got this happening in their ninth house. So that would indicate like higher learning, philosophy, religion, long distance travel, but there's some sort of emotional need for a new belief, or there's some sort of, it's almost like there's an intuitive connect, like if you have Cancer over your ninth house, you can't believe something unless it aligns intuitively. So it's like there's this emotional need for spirituality, and that's a journey for Scorpio, because it's you might follow the religion of your mother, you might follow the religions of your parents, and so you don't explore your own spirituality, your own philosophies. So it's almost like Scorpio rising are having a new belief, and it's a new belief that really brings you stability and emotional, but also it could be a devotional new spiritual practice, or you begin astrology, you start learning something, and you find some sort of emotional healing or emotional fulfillment out of it. It's something that more alignment with what you emotionally find helpful, because spirituality isn't just cognitive and mental, but it's like there's an emotional soothing from a new belief. Now, it could also be that you have a new belief, or a new knowledge or new information comes in that makes you change your belief, that makes you want to learn a new belief. It could even be that you just change how you mother, having Cancer over your 10th house. You start believing in a spiritual way to start raising your children, or you want to start taking your children traveling because you want them to have more open-mindedness, because the ninth house is all about the opening of the mind and the releasing of sort of rigid thinking. And so they're letting go, because they've got the South Node in their 12th house. So they're kind of letting go of some sort of like trauma. Scorpio usually are, but it's like letting go of being dominant by past life. So letting go of the old beliefs, letting go of, and sort of rebirthing a new spiritual belief, or learning something new that feels, this new belief, they would have believed something, Scorpio would have believed something because of some sort of other person or other world or other religions that were impressed on them. And now but they've been really seeking their true religion, which is connecting more with what makes them emotionally stable. Does that make sense?
Interesting. Yeah. I when I was listening to you sharing, I was, doing my best to overlay it on my experience, clients' experiences, kind of what I've noticed has been happening in the in the world around me, which is the one that I know. And what I find interesting about this is you're talking about learning, that ninth house. The date palm flower is it's a reminder that there's a freedom from extremes that we can have. Okay, so extreme, like you're talking about religion, like taking the extreme view over here and then the extreme view over here. It's like, it's a shift in the paradigm. Where are you falling in that? And where are you falling within that creates that sense of emotional security and stability for yourself, and using your own intuitive and inner knowing to access that. It's also a balance between linear and non-linear thinking. So if you think about going from here to here, sometimes it's like, I know that I'm going there, but I may really have to go around, or there might be like a fast track. It's not just like do all the time. It might be, but it might not be. And then it also offers a sense of timelessness and euphoria and freedom. When I think of euphoria too, that reminds me a bit of Scorpio, when Scorpio has cleared something, when they have literally walked through the fire, managed to come out with a few burns, but they're healing, they're doing their best. And now they're like, wow, I'm in this place that I never thought I could be in. And here I am. And that, to me, that's that feeling of euphoria and freedom and liberation. And that's where life becomes timeless. And so this flower feels really supportive for Scorpio as they go through this period of time, because learning something new or changing your belief system is not an easy ask.
Yeah, because, especially if, the ninth house can be where we feel like we think we know, know something. And so, these energies come in, and astrology will especially ninth house transit will wake that up in you. We'll say, no, that might not be what you think. And then you like go, whoa. And then you whole new outlook. So
exactly.
And then this is a new beginning coming to you that is attracting into the life of Scorpio, where now they have an expanded viewpoint, which now they're able to attract a higher new beginning in that area, that is now because of an open mind, because of an opening of the mind.
Yeah.
Which makes you see an opportunity there.
Yeah, that you otherwise may have missed if you were closed off to it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Sagittarius. And also for anyone who's watching, if you all have any questions or comments or anything's coming up for you, please, I'm going back and forth, checking every now and then. Just let us know. We're happy to answer any questions. So, all right.
So over the eighth house is interesting, because that's like some kind of a fear, and it's around finances and joint resources and inheritance. So it's almost like it indicates some sort of emotional, it's almost like you have a spouse, or you have some sort of finances from outside of you that keep you feeling emotionally supported, that you've always felt emotionally supported. So it could be a new beginning involving your spouse, where they have more income, a really abundant new beginning for your spouse. And also there is a new financial investment you could take, which makes you feel secure and financially for the long haul. You could, refinance your property, and then that gives you a financial abundance to begin a new project or invest, so that you can be more, now Cancer is living home property. So it's almost like you refinance a property. In fact, I know somebody who is Sagittarius rising who is investing in a bunch of tiny homes. And that, so she's probably, who knows where, but it could be from spouse's income that you can afford to do this, or from spouse, or from a refinancing, or an inheritance coming in, supporting you to invest in a new beginning in something that feels very long term. And also there's a lot of commitment with an energy in these new moons. They're these new beginnings, they're quite committed. So it's almost like committing to this new auspicious investing, and it, again, I forget to throw real estate and property in all of these house transits, but a really good chance you're buying a property, or buying homes, or some kind of stabilizing, secure, safe environment through outside resources. Now, new moon in the eighth house can trigger you with that Venus there in the Chiron. So you could get triggered into a deep fear of not having enough money. You could have been investing in something, and now you're freaked out because you don't think there's enough money, but then there's some sort of so maybe, let's say you're investing in something, and then you decide, well, I better sell one of my other assets. And then it brings you enough money to go forward on a devotion path of this new beginning. So just prepare for possible triggers around, because your eighth house, whenever I have an eighth house planet, I'm like, just going to be eighth house transit. It might get triggered here, especially with Venus squaring Chiron. So Aries is in your fifth house, rising Saggies. So creative project coming in. And again, this is a result of the eclipses. So a new creative path that you want financial security around supporting it would be another way to say it.
Well, the gardenia is here to help.
Yay!
So the gardenia activates shifting your perception, transforming your weaknesses into strengths. And, you know, with the eighth house is that shadowy sort of place. The gardenia will give you an opportunity to see your shadows in a positive light. There's things about yourself that you really just either don't want to look at or you just don't like. You might be able to see them in a way where maybe they're gifts that were in disguise that you didn't know until now, or you didn't need them until now. And it's giving you an opportunity to embrace those aspects of yourself that you would rather avoid. And with that Cancer energy, it feels like you'll have that nurturing from this moon cycle to support you in that process. So, you know, really being able to have the courage to lean into the shadow and know that that might be part of what is able to move you forward or propel you forward in some way in your life.
Yeah, because don't forget, Sagittarius have Capricorn over their second house. So a lot of Saggies are clearing karma around money. And this is a fear of access part. And so it's almost like Sagittarians are going to feel cleared of that karma, of that fear, earning money in a karmic way rather than in the way that's really aligned for you spiritually or soul. And so now this new beginning where you've overcome this fear, you're releasing these fears. It could be that you take a risk, because the eighth house is taking risks to go into debt, which can be really positive in this energy. It would work. It would be very positive to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
We are whipping along here. Okay,
Yeah.
Capricorn. Okay,
Capricorn.
Capricorn. You guys have it obviously in your seventh house. You're going to have a new moon there, new relationship coming in. Again, it could be from the past. It could be somebody coming back from the past. And this one, it feels safe. It feels it's up. There's going to be something auspicious. It could be a partnership business, and that's really auspicious with these energies to have a new auspicious business partnership opening up. That could last a nice 30 years. That would be as a result of having cleared some karma in your own field, Capricorn, having Pluto there. And Saturn, your ruling planet in retrograde, is a good chance it's going back and tackling an issue from the past, having to deal with something big in your life, because that's Capricorn. I mean, sorry, that's your ruling planet. And then with this Cancer new moon in your seventh house, there's an auspicious new beginning involving, and again, this is somebody that feels home. It could be a relationship with someone that feels really at home. An emotional, shall we say, attachment issue having been released around relationships, which now, like, I mean, you know, this new moon comes with the release of a relationship. And my ex-husband is Capricorn, and we just literally got divorced. Like the divorce came through, like literally like yesterday, 2 days ago.
Oh my goodness gracious.
And that was a 30-year
Wow.
cycle for me. So that was karma clearing for me in my seventh house, because I'm Capricorn over my seventh. So I know is finally it's been blocked because there was karma to clear here, which I feel very clear around. But so for Capricorns, you most likely ended a relationship, and then you've got cleared karma now, and you're ready for a new beginning. And this new beginning is going to be family, a new relationship that feels like family. And you know what? Capricorn are always going to do well when they get married, because they've got that Cancer and that security. They get security over their relationships, over their marriage partnerships. They creates a home. They want their relationship person makes a family. A lot of people, depending on your chart, when you get married, things become much more abundant, more wealthy. So it's like, and our lives did when we got married back 30 years ago, whatever that was. So there's like this new beginning, new relationship, partnership agreement in relationships that create, and a new home. You could move into a new home, or you could build a home with a partnership. That's what he and I did. We built a new home together. So auspicious new beginnings going back to the past, most likely someone from your past coming in, and a business partnership where you create a brand new home, new living situation, or a new project, a business partnership. And it feels like home. It's interesting because your business partnerships are going to be with people that feel like family. So I think I covered it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was I'm sitting here thinking, okay, as far as, my Capricorn guy,
Yeah.
where would that be? Because I don't know about, I mean, maybe moving, but it feels like maybe it'll be something with his business, with some people that he's in partnership with,
You
that
guys
feel
may move.
really,
You guys may move in together here, if that's the plan or not. But it could happen too.
yeah, well, just, yeah, finding that space of connection, in a more, just a different way. So, okay.
Yeah.
We have the mountain laurel here.
Okay.
And so with the mountain laurel, it's a flower that encourages you to get comfortable with yourself. I think that's always the first place, feeling comfortable, getting a sense of the true greatness that exists in the world, and holding it. It's also showing us where we might be holding on to something too tightly. So there might be a vision or a partnership that we're grasping and clutching, and we need to just loosen the grip a little bit in order to feel more comfortable for ourselves and for the other person. And I love the purple of this too, because to me, that feels like such a divine, supportive energy in that process. There's a sweetness to it as well. There's just, I don't know, there's something about that. I really, I don't know. I like it. It feels good.
Yeah, that is a really nice energy, and it's almost like it's one flower with many facets in it. So it's like, you know, I would say it's sort of like, gosh, it has a sort of umbrella effect on their life. Like, this is a pretty big new moon having the seventh house. Wherever our seventh house is very a powerful house in our chart.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they become more of who they are in the relationship, and creating abundance with a relationship. You're
So,
going to be partnering and creating abundance with a relationship partnership, expansion through partnership.
so what would be your, like, I'm thinking about okay, so if you're married, you're in partnership, and this moon could shift the relationship in a number of different directions, depending on kind of what karma has been cleared, what energy they're putting into the relationship now. What would you say about, maybe somebody who's had some marital challenge? Would this be a positive overall energy, or would
Unless the marriage isn't supposed to be, you could get into split up because of these full moons. So if you're
okay.
in the wrong relationship, it's saying bye-bye. You're clearing a karmic relationship, it's going to end. In these energies, I'm telling you, these relationships are falling down. I can see it around. But if you're in the right relationship, it's about increasing abundance, expanding things with that relationship. So you're going to get into
Right.
a collaborative venture with that person.
Okay.
And that's going to be very auspicious because it's hitting on these really powerful stars, these Aldebaran and Sirius with the Jupiter there. So it's like you're going to have Jupiter in your eighth. Wait, do you have Jupiter in your eighth house? If you are, no, fourth. Okay. So this is work related for Capricorn because it's hitting they've got Jupiter in their sixth house. So it's like these are work related type expansions that feel like home, family, and safe, feeling secure and safe in this partnership. So if it's good, if your marriage is working, then in a relationship, then this is a fantastic new move for your relationship.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
I think you guys end up making a lot of money together.
That would be good. I know that would make Misha happy.
That flower kind of looked like that, didn't it? With all that Like
Yeah.
a lot of things happening from this.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Well, yeah, and I have a very another important Capricorn, actually several important Capricorns in my life where that would be great for them. They'd be very happy.
Yeah.
Very happy. So, okay. Shall we move on to Aquarius?
I went paddleboarding 2 days in a row, so I feel like I got sunburnt. I'm just realizing, looking how red I look on the screen. But
Oh, that's
anyway.
so funny. No, you look refreshed.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to go to Aquarius, which is going to be interesting because you guys are going to have this new moon in your 6th house. So it's almost like if you're Aquarius, when you work in your job and you have Cancer over your 6th house, you're going to be a very nurturing person. You like nurturing environments. You need your work environment to be nurturing, and you do jobs that are healing and nurturing people. A lot of like shaman medicine people will have Cancer. Oh, if they have planets there, they're very much medicine people. Intuitive, because Cancer is right there, very intuitive about your work environment. You're going to have a nurturing quality about the way you work with the people around you. You're going to be gentle on your enemies. It's the house of enemies, but Cancer there, you're going to be like, oh no, please don't hate me. So it's a very nurturing, nice energy in your work house. But now a new moon there would also be a new beginning. Now I know a lot of people with new moons in their 6th house, they take rigorous new beginnings to improve their health, to nurture themselves, to be a better mother to their own body, to be a better mother to their own, to sort of, wherever we have Cancer, we're also going to throw ourselves under the bus, because the 6th house tends to be that as well, because we're nervous and we're afraid and we're trying to control things on the outside. Because remember, Capricorn opposes Cancer, so there's controlling issues there. So which causes stress if it's in your 6th house. So you're going to be easily emotionally upset by your work environment. You're going to be emotionally sensitive to your work people. Emotions can throw you off your work really easily. Suddenly you can't work, you can't concentrate, and you don't know why. Well, there's some deep emotional stuff going on that you haven't addressed. I've seen this with Aquarian. And so now with a new moon there's this new beginning. You've cleared karma in your 12th house. You've cleared some deep spiritual, fear-based tendencies. And so now you're coming more into alignment, a new beginning that is more emotionally fulfilling, that is more emotionally nurturing, that feels very safe and secure. A new work environment where you feel safe and secure. Maybe you start working in a new home or new environment that is much more family and safe and feeling and comfortable for you. What else would that be? A new job altogether, a new working environment, a new job. You could start working in your home. I know many Aquarians who do that. That now it's a new or a new job where you can take it home and start working at home more. Let me think what else. Saturn, you've got Saturn in your 2nd house. So you are restructuring your income and how you make your money. So this is all around the eclipses. So this could be a very major new job. You could start your own business because you had the eclipse in the 3rd house. You're starting another business. Now you start it because it's relationship to that eclipse. Let's have a look at you.
So we have the pomegranate flower for Aquarians, and this activates strength. The message is detox and re-energize. So you're talking a lot about work, and health. This is saying pretty much vitality will be created through cleansing both your body and your energy. Rid your system of toxins. Toxins don't necessarily, yes, they come through things you put on your skin, in your body, in your environment, but it's also people. People can also be toxic for your system. So have an awareness of who's around you. What are you putting on your body? What are you putting in your body? What are you allowing to come into your awareness? What are you watching on TV? What are you listening to? Those sorts of things. It's all really, really important for Aquarians right now.
Very perfect. Very in alignment with the new moon in the 6th house. Clearing toxin, because we're doing that karmic stuff. And a lot of karma people create is with their health. their own self by not taking care of themselves, by doing things. They throw themselves under the bus when they're working at work. Sixth house, you're frustrated, you're stressed about work, you throw your health out the window, you don't care. Then it comes back and bites you in the butt.
Yes, it does. I feel like I've been doing a little bit of a dance with that energy of taking care of self. And, that's also feels very Cancerian, I think for everyone. How are you caring for yourself? Are you mothering and nurturing yourself as you would as if you were a mother of someone else? Because I feel like most of us tend to be able to take care of other people a lot better than we do ourselves.
And the sixth house is very much a victim house, because it's the Virgo house where we throw ourselves under the bus, the tendency to throw the self under the bus. So
yeah,
no more of that.
No more. Ain't no mo, as my dad used to say.
Yes. Yes. So
Okay.
now we're going to go to the fifth house, because we have Pisces. So we are at the end of this journey here. Let's go to Pisces. So yeah, you're going to have this Cancer. Wow, I really like that. That really is, that's a really nice new moon. Actually, the best new moons are going to be your 11th and 5th. And that's just a lot of fun. Perhaps a friend becomes family. Friends, you meet new friends that are your family, that are more like family. Now, again, these new moons hit every year in your 5th house. So we're letting go of, and we have Capricorn over the 11th. So you're letting go of friends that are more, shall we say, karmically based, attached, trying to control friends group. Pisces rising have a real thing with the 11th house, really, really controlling how they look on social media. They want to really control their look. So it's almost like we're releasing that. See, if you're trying to control how you look on social media, or how your friends groups or peers are responding, and whether they're supportive. Like my son is Cancer rising, and he's often in peer groups where he feels somewhat controlled to how he behaves in them and things like that. So it's like they're purifying that karma, and you're now making new friends that are more family, that are emotionally sensitive and in aligned to your feelings. And also with Pisces Cancer over their 5th house, they're very sensitive. Pisces are sensitive people anyway. They take things a lot personally. So it's like they could get triggered emotionally, very sensitive around a friends group, but then they let that friends grow. Remember, this is going to be a releasing thing too. This new moon, we're going to be letting go. So maybe Pisces lets go of a friend and friendships to certain people that are not sensitive to them, that aren't caring about them, that don't have their best interest at heart. And so you're going to be releasing that, Pisces rising, and you're going to find new friends. That you're always evolving. Every of these new moons in these Cancer houses, you're evolving from less sensitive, less attachment, and more spiritually aligned people, where you're taking better care of yourself, and you're not pretzeling yourself to be in these friendships. And it's also romantic. So there's a love life. They're very much a strong new beginning, moving in and living with somebody you love, a romantic cohabitation, living with a group of roommates. You suddenly find a nice new group of friends to live, new roommate. Also, the 5th house is the house of entrepreneurial, where you're initiating new businesses, a new entrepreneurial venture, creative. That is with friends that feel like family. Make sure they are family to you, your friends that you, shall we say, commit to a project with or get involved with. It's a very emotionally sensitive new mood for everybody. So there's a lot of like tears maybe coming up, people from the past coming in that you separated from. So there's some sort of emotional reunion. That would be the same with that 7th house placement. There's an emotional reunion here. But this is definitely a romantic transit for Pisces. And and also with the 11th house, it's where we tend to have a little bit of a hard time staying in the logic. We tend to go more into the emotional. And so, the mind is really supposed to be deleted in this new moon, so that we know emotionally, intuitively, that we're aligning with the right people. Because if you're going in the mind, you're going, well, you know, they're really nice and they said really nice things to me and they seem to be really good friends, but on an intuitive level, maybe you don't feel that that it's necessarily there. So really with this whole new moon, you want to be following your intuitive knowing 100%.
Yeah, so true. So true. So to round us out here with Pisces and the final flower of this for this Cancer new moon.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Final flower of the day. We have the Grevillea, and this activates fearless speech. The message is speak your mind. What I love about this flower for Pisces is that it's expression that enhances engagement with other people. So you were talking about that earlier, like having those people that you actually feel good with, and then being able to communicate clearly in a way that is more authentic. You're more authentic in your everyday interactions, and that's going to draw a community to you that's going to feel like family, that's going to feel like the people that are truly meant to be with you because you're being your actual self, not like you were saying, pretzeling yourself into somebody else to fit in to a specific group or community. So, yeah.
This very much, and that's interesting because, you know, that it's almost like that picture looks like you're shining in your friends groups. You're going to be liked by a lot of people with that energy, but also,
You
yeah,
stand out a bit.
yeah, like you feel good about yourself. Your self-esteem is in a good place because Saturn is in your first house. Saturn's been making you mature, and a lot of that maturity is to not be so emotionally sensitive, you know, because
Mm.
you're a water sign, so you can't take everything personally. But the other thing we must remember to warn Pisces is if they don't want to have a baby, be careful. They could get pregnant or a new creative project.
Okay.
So, wow, did we do it quickly this time? We did.
I think
Quicker.
yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I guess let me just make sure there's no questions. Nope. So I think we're good to go. I think we wrapped all of that up. I mean, the bottom line is it's a Cancer new moon. Emotions are going to be a big part of this. Your intuition is going to be a big part of this. So allow the emotions to come up and out, be aware of them, use your intuitive knowing to take whatever action, plant whatever seeds for this new moon cycle that that feel good to you. Follow the path that seems to be opening up for you instead of banging on the one that doesn't seem to be going where you want it to go, and you just keep forcing it or attempting to force it. You know, flow with the Cancerian waters and see what.
And also, sorry if I interrupted, but
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
okay. This is a new moon where now I just forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Wherever we have Cancer in our chart is important. There is a reason to have Cancer there, which means this is the area where you're going to have a higher intuitive intelligence, and you use that higher intuitive intelligence rather than the logos, the lower mind intelligence. You're going to have better experience, better success, because this is the portal in your chart where you are going to be given emotional guidance, which is where you want to listen, how you
Okay.
want to listen to that energy in your chart.
Interesting. Okay. You got me thinking about some other things. Yeah, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. All right, everyone. Well, you know where to find us. Well, although Madelaine's social media is a little wonky right now, but she's still on YouTube.
My YouTube
So
channel is there, so thank God.
find her there. Her website's below here, so you can always reach her that way.
Anybody knows how to timestamp?
Without having to go through the entire video and watch it in order to see. I feel like there's got to be a Chat GPT something or some AI.
Well, I think you can voice it. You can say, okay, every time we start a sign, we say that name, and then when it says that name, it types it in. But I just thought maybe somebody out there knows and they can tell us, because
if you know, let us know and we'll be happy to add it in. It's just we don't. It's such a labor intensive process to do it, which is why we don't. One quick way for anyone who's watching and they get to this point is whenever I hold up the flower card, you know that is when the sign shifts. So that's a kind of an easy way to cheat it a little bit to when you fast forward through. So
Right. I might
hopefully
be
that helps.
I'll try it out. I'll see.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for those who have
Yeah.
joined us. Thank you for those who are watching the replay. We hope this is helpful. Give us a like, a follow, and comment. Let us know how you're doing. And well, I'll share it in another video another time. So we will say au revoir. Ciao
Adios.
for now. Bye, everybody.